Thanks for joining us. We are Alive at 5, ready to get to your thoughts on our story today. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook because we want you to be part of this conversation. I'm Cheryl Preheim here with Caitlin Ross and Aisha Howard, and the topic today is, can we agree to disagree? Can you have close relationships? Friends, family, acquaintances, if you disagree on politics or social issues in particular, or are there some things you just cannot be close if you're divided on those topics? This is a conversation getting a lot of momentum ever since Ellen DeGeneres sat next to former President George W. Bush at a football game. She responded earlier this week to criticism about that moment with the former president at the Cowboys game over the weekend. Some found it funny and odd, but others were angry with her because they say, hey, you're part of the LGBTQ community, and this is a president who for 8 years enacted policies that limited rights for that community. So in response, she said showing kindness to everybody is important.
But just because I don't agree with someone on everything doesn't mean that I'm not going to be friends with them. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter.
And if you watch Ellen every day, she says that at the end of every show. So that's something that is very near and dear to her. So former President Bush and his wife released a statement through a spokesperson. That statement says, President and Mrs. Bush really enjoyed being with Ellen and Portia, that is Ellen's wife, as you may know, and appreciated Ellen's comments about respecting one another, and they respect her. So it seems like kindness and respect is really at the core of this conversation. But if you hit up social media, they are not buying it there.
No, they're not. A lot of people pushed back really forcefully on this, saying that there are just some things that you're too different on. There's no way you can bridge that gap, and you cannot be friends with someone who feels so differently than you. Not only is it about Ellen and former President Bush, this is about people in our own lives, our own friends and family members. There's an election coming up, and with that is going to come really heated political commentary. And the question really is, can you keep those close relationships when you're figuring out how your close friends and family members feel?
I have a friend whose father is not allowed to the house unless he agrees no politic conversation around the dinner table. If not, they have to show him the door. A lot of people talking about this. I want to get right to some of the comments, starting with Becca Reed Farmer, talking about, I would love it if most people felt this way and acted this way, which is be kind to everybody. Unfortunately, there are several things we should not tolerate. Hate and bigotry, I cannot give a pass to as a difference of opinion and merely excuse it away that way. Carla Weaver, another important point. Politics is personal when people's rights are on the line. Where would we be if folks had been afraid to rock the boat on slavery or voting for women or civil rights? She goes on to talk about the fact that, listen, there are just some things you cannot compromise on. And when you are part of those conversations, you have to draw the line sometimes, and you may lose a friendship because of it.
And I think it's levels to it, right? I'm all about protecting your peace, and your social media page is your page. If you have someone that really ruffles your feathers every time, or they get you all fired up and angry, in that space there is the mute button, there is the delete button.
Yes.
You get to censor what you see on your page, in your news feed. So there is that. But maybe you're on the dinner table, Cheryl. I love that rule because we always talk about, from the beginning of time, we have really just started talking about your personal feelings on religion and politics. It used to be such a private thing, and now people are talking about it. So
they are.
Yeah,
they're talking about it so much more openly. But you make a great point on social media. A lot of people who responded to the question on my Facebook page were saying, look, I unfollow people, which is kind of like a secret. They don't know that you've unfollowed them, but you don't have to watch what they're saying. And that might help keep the peace. It kind of keeps you separated from those really intense personal opinions. I want to bring in Norma's comment here because she actually talked about losing friends. She says, yes, I have. It's sad. I was dropped as a friend because I voted for our president. Our world is so filled with hate now. And this from a person who preaches diversity only if you agree with them.
It's interesting because I see another conversation here about how can someone ever change their mind if they're never listening to a difference of opinion? Someone, I just wanted to pull this up because it got me thinking about that. It says, if you cannot listen to others' opinions without judgment or selfishness, then you are closing everything off. Open your eyes, ears, and heart. You might just learn something. How can we ever convince someone else to think about something differently if we cannot have an exchange with two people with different opinions?
I love that.
As long as it's a healthy debate. And like you said, hate, bigotry, that's totally different. If you keep the conversation clean, I think it is a great space. And we do see some good conversations happening. And that's why we want you to be a part of it. Go ahead and leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Join us back here tomorrow, same time. We post these stories every weekday. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today.